Hi, I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. A special thank you to my patrons, Wild Rose, Lauren Chris, That British Unicorn, and Debbie Elliott. So today I'm talking about another creator on this channel by the name of Learning to be Fearless. From her content, what I can see, she's like a weight loss, lifestyle sort of blogger. And she seems nice. I haven't seen a lot of her stuff before. I know of her sort of in passing, but she seems pretty cool. I like her videos. They tend to be a little bit on the shorter side, which is nice because, as y'all know, your girl likes to ramble. But yeah, she has a couple of what I eat in a day is up, and I kind of wanted to talk about them.
I'm gonna make myself one of my favorite breakfasts. I love a breakfast scramble. Like, I eat it almost every day. It's just like eggs, cheese. I'll show you guys what's in it. Okay, so first I just took some frozen shredded hash browns, and I'm just cooking those up with a little nonstick spray. And I also like to add a lot of like seasoning here, like salt, pepper, a little like paprika. I like a little spice. And then once these are like not frozen and getting pretty cooked, I'm gonna add in some, bless you, I'm gonna add in some ground turkey crumbles, turkey sausage, not turkey. And those are frozen as well, and then I just cook those up with it. It's kind of like step by step I add like the next thing that should get cooked. Because the hash browns kind of take the longest for them to get like crispy. So now I just let these cook for a little bit, and then in a couple minutes I'll add in the rest. Okay, so now that that's cooked, I'm gonna take a couple eggs and I just crack them right on top. I'm also going to take some fat-free cheddar cheese, just a little bit, and then I scramble it up. And this is like the last step. And now I'm basically just waiting for those eggs to cook and the cheese gets nice and melty. And it is such a yummy breakfast scramble. And while it cooks, I usually go ahead and munch on some fruit. So today I'm having pineapple. Okay, and I just top it with a little bit of ketchup, because that's what I do. If you don't like that, that's fine. But, or you can put some hot sauce or some salsa if you want to make it more like Tex-Mex vibes. But it's super, super yummy, and it keeps me full for a really long time. So I'm gonna eat this, and then we're gonna go work out.
First thing she has is she's got this sort of like scramble that she makes with frozen hash browns, eggs, some sausage crumbles, and I think it's a pretty good meal overall, right? She's got some vitamin C and some great antioxidant fibers coming from the pineapple. She's got protein from the eggs and the turkey sausage. She's got some carbs from the hash browns. I can't talk. Carbs from the hash browns, and she's got some fat both from the cheese that she has in there and from the sausage and the egg yolks. But overall, there isn't really very much fat in here, and there isn't any other vegetable in here either. I would really recommend maybe wilting in some spinach, maybe adding a little bit of mushrooms, some bell peppers, you know, serving it with a side of maybe some fresh vegetables, you know. I just think that you could really up the micronutrient content in here just by adding a little bit more green to it.
Okay, so the first thing that I do, I have my kale soaking in some water, ice cold. It helps to get crispy and clean and all that. So the thing that I've learned with kale to make it taste less bitter and just not gross is I learned online that you're supposed to massage it with olive oil for like 3 to 5 minutes. And I also add salt and pepper, and it makes, oh my God, a world of a difference. Okay, so I went ahead and prepped everything for the salad. I will say it's a lot of prep, but it's worth it. So I have a cup of brown rice. To make it easier, I just get a microwavable kind. I have some goat cheese crumbles. We have a little bit of sliced almond. I just grilled up some fresh chicken on the stovetop. We have some roasted sweet potato that I roasted with avocado oil, salt and pepper. And then we have a half of an apple cut up. And boom, here's our salad. Honestly, I love a big bowl of this. Super filling and so good. Just brings such fall vibes too.
Lunch is a salad. The salad looks honestly amazing. She's got a lot of those long-lasting carbs and fiber from all that brown rice and sweet potato, a ton of antioxidants from that sweet potato as well, and flavor. Obvi. Then she's got that, crunch from the almonds, that healthy fat from the almonds. She's got the chicken in there for the protein, along with the goat cheese in there for protein and for fat. And she's got that kale that she's, wilted with a little bit of olive oil. And that's great as well. She's got the healthy fats from the olive oil, and she's got the micronutrient dense kale and the fiber from there as well. Overall, I think this is a great example of a very satiating looking, very delicious looking meal. I love it, and I actually kind of want to make this myself.
All right, guys, it is now dinner time, and I wanted to show you one of my favorite ways that I make dinner after I made that lunch. So I'm just taking a low-carb tortilla, and I put on the rice and chicken that I had left over from my lunch. So this is kind of just like a little homemade burrito situation. And here are what I put on for toppings. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this peach and mango salsa. I love a sweet salsa. It's one of my faves. I don't like to put a lot, just like a little bit. And in replacement of sour cream, I like to do plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. It literally tastes the same. And it has a lot of protein. Sorry, this is not cute, but it tastes good. Just throwing on some fat-free cheese. And lastly, some pickled jalapeno. Sometimes I'll make 2 of these depending how hungry I am. I had lunch a little bit late. I just fold it up into a burrito.
For dinner, she's using the leftovers that she has from the meal that she had earlier. She's got chicken in there. She's got some rice in there. She's wrapped it up in a tortilla and she's grilling it. Fantastic. I think that's great. My only concern here is that there's not a lot of fiber-rich vegetables in here. So I think some fire roasted peppers in there would be delicious. Some fresh salsa or pico de gallo would be great. Maybe some guac in here would be fantastic for some healthy fats. And I just think that while delicious, it might leave her feeling a little bit unsatiated because she doesn't have enough bulk in there, enough fiber in there to really slow down the digestion of the rest of her food.
And lastly, for dessert, this is something I've been loving lately. With some strawberries and fat-free whipped cream. I know it doesn't look that appetizing, but it is delicious.
So the last thing she's having in the day is she's having this strawberries with whipped cream. It looks delicious, but it's definitely lacking when it comes to a nutrition point of view. There's no protein in this meal. There's no fat in this meal. And I think I've said before that the way you want to look at snacks is less from a just a standalone point of view and more as a mini meal that you're eating. You want to try and hit every single marker for macronutrients and every single meal that you have throughout the day. And especially for weight loss, because that's what will sustain you and keep you nourished and feeling full for a longer period of time. So I would really recommend that if you're having the strawberries, maybe slice them up on top of some cottage cheese or some Greek yogurt with a little bit of granola or some nut butter. Maybe have it with some peanut butter or chocolate hummus, something like that, just to kind of give you more fat and more protein. Speaking of fat, this is another theme that I picked up in her videos, is that she doesn't seem to eat a lot of fat. So in the morning, she used a little bit of spray, but there was no really overt sources of fat in there. In her lunch, she had a little bit of sliced almond, but it was very little. Everything else was pretty low fat. And in her dinner, once more, little to no fat. Fats are extremely important. There's a lot of fat-soluble vitamins that you will miss out on if you're not eating healthy sources of fat. So this is not me coming to you saying, hey, eat bacon all day, every day. But having things like I said, avocado, almonds, fatty fish like salmon is great. Stuff like that can really, really help up the nutrition in your food and just help you maximize everything else that you're eating. And if you're not eating those things, you might miss out on stuff like vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamins K. All of these things are fat-soluble vitamins that even if you have them in the food, if you're not eating them with a source of fat, you might not necessarily be able to absorb them, as it were. So I think a lot of her meals could be helped with just like a couple of really quick adjustments. So for example, I just made a couple notes here. For breakfast, if she's having the carbs and stuff from the potatoes and stuff, that's fine. But maybe she could add in a little bit of canola oil to the cooking process, help really crisp up those potatoes. She could also choose to incorporate a little bit of butter, maybe just a tiny bit. You don't have to have a lot of it. You could maybe pair it with like an ounce of nuts. You could have a side of Greek yogurt with some granola, fresh granola on top that also could have some nuts in it. Or you could make a little smoothie. I said in one of my other videos, but a really good way to incorporate protein into a smoothie is to use tofu. So maybe make a smoothie with tofu and some peanut butter and some veggies blended in there as well for some flavor, and a banana for some potassium. That could be a really satiating thing that you could have, and it could also give you a lot more of that micronutrient content that you need. And if you're worried about the calories, you can make that a smaller portion of the smoothie, and you can maybe have a smaller lunch to compensate for it if you don't want to overeat on your calories. I think when a lot of people hear me say that I want you to add foods, they assume that I just want you to eat more. Some cases, yes, but not necessarily. I just mean you should try and incorporate these foods into your diet as well. So if you're having 3 tacos that have, you know, a lot of meat and cheese but nothing else, maybe have 2 tacos with meat and cheese and guac and tomatoes and onions and all of those delicious things, right? So you're upping all of those things, but maybe you're eating less tacos overall. You're getting more in terms of nutrition density, but you're maybe getting a little bit less in terms of taco numbers or whatever. So I don't mean that you should overeat on your calories to compensate for that. Obviously, you know, try and maybe if you're having a salad, for example, the salad that she eats, maybe rather than having 1 cup of rice that she says in there, have half a cup of rice and half a cup of sweet potato and have that smoothie in the morning. And looking at it not just in terms of a day, but in terms of each individual meal can help you really portion out what you're eating and when. Because if you're eating a very large amount of calories at one time, but the rest of your meals are very sparse, A, it can be harder to control yourself, but B, your body might not be able to use all that nutrition right away. So it's very, very important that you try and space out your meals and try and incorporate a little bit of everything in each meal as much as you can without going overboard and trying to track every single micro and macronutrient. So that will be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Overall, I think she did a pretty good job. I just think that it's definitely lacking in some areas. And once more, if this is what your doctor recommends that you eat, then this is what you should do. But if you are just looking for tips to try and eat a little bit better, this is how I would say you do it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you hated this video, give me a thumbs down. That's totally okay. I understand. I respect everybody's opinion here. You can leave me a comment down below if there's something you'd like me to really, really know. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when I upload any video right away. I've got all my social medias linked down below. I've got Instagram that has all of my food and kind of like my day-to-day stuff, which since I'm not doing anything or going anywhere, it's mostly just food. But I'm a pretty good cook, so if you like that content, that's where you can find it. I've also got some recipes in there. They're pretty good. I like my recipes, okay? I've got Twitter, where I'm honestly a little bit toxic and a little bit petty. And also it has all my channel updates, and I'm generally the most easily reachable on that platform. So if you want to send me something or whatever, that's where you can do it. I've got my Patreon. Think of Patreon as the tip jar for the internet. So if you like the job that I'm doing here and you'd like me to continue, that's where you can throw a few coins in my direction. All of your funds will go directly towards buying me more hair ties and probably a little bit of hair product. As you guys can see, this is not doing well. You guys, look at what's happening. I've got a pickety witch haircut. I don't know what to do with it anymore, and I can't go get my haircut. It's so frustrating. Okay, that will be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. Peace.